Well, as often happens around here, it is a really gorgeous, beautiful, warm fall day. And we have the next few days are going to be, I think, even up to like 81, 82. And then, boom, cold comes again. And we may actually hit our first frost date, first frost days. I'm predicting, I think it's a week from now, 31 degrees for a few nights. So we'll see, but I have time to plan. I have to get some things harvested or transplanted that I want to take care of through the winter. I want to bring them indoors and then see what happens. So I'll share with you when I do that. But for right now, I'm going to go out and grab some seeds. So always planning for next year and always planning for food and sustainability, right? So let me show you what is going on right now in the garden. This here is my cardinal basil. I grew specifically for seed, so I haven't really harvested anything because they don't tend to generally flower a whole lot. And so I wanted to not pick anything to save as many as the flowers, as I could, to let them go to seed. This one's still really pretty. I've cut a few for flowers in the house because look at this thing. It is like a flower producing balm. It's awesome. So you want them when they are dried, like this one. Here's some over here in the sunlight. Yeah, that's what you want them, like dry and crispy kind of. But the seed's still in them, so you can see actually there's some seeds that are falling down here, even on the ground, just that little black thing there. When it comes to seed saving, I always pick the best plant. It's not just about the seed, it's about the strongest, the healthiest. See this plant? I had four plants from the last of my seeds that sprouted. This is one, this is two, this is three. Has a nice flower coming up here, and lastly, number 4. So I'm not making any claims about this being amazing soil. It's not, it's terrible. I did nothing to amend it except what was in the cup when I planted them and had some worm castings. I watered them poorly all year. Yeah, so I'm not picking on the basil at all. That it even survived, period, is a testament to the power of seed and the will to grow. It's pretty obvious that even though it's in the shade and it's hard to see, this is the one to seed save from. Granted, I'd like to seed save for multiple plants and mix them up, but this is the only one I want to save seeds from. I'm going to save a bunch. We'll grow it again next year, and then maybe we'll have a better turnout. I can save for multiple plants then. So cardinal basil is the bomb. Very strong anise licorice flavor to it, but when you do like basil pesto, I like strong basil pesto. This stuff works really good, half and half. Cardinal basil and sweet basil. And I haven't had that all year because I've been saving this plant to let it go to seed. So I'm looking forward to having cardinal basil again next year. Here hang the remains of my Chinese red noodle beans. I'm gonna harvest these bean pods I left out to dry for next year's crop. I do have plenty of these still from last year, but I figure always save the freshest one because the plant is, getting better and stronger in its environment every year. So use the current seeds if possible. You can eat the seeds. I want that bean. Okay. Here you go. So, they're dry. Did I call them a bean? They're a bean, not a pea. So you can cook them up, but mostly I've never eaten them cooked actually as a dry bean. So I eat them when these are fresh. Before they get too far along, you just eat the entire bean and you just cut it up and saute it or throw it in whatever you're eating, and they're super delicious. But I love this crop. I think it's probably one of the ones I will always grow. Pests don't bother it. Bees and wasps love it. And yeah. And right next door is the remains of the fennel that I planted. This I grew for the seeds because you can make tea with them, and it is basically, this is licorice right here. So I'm gonna save these for Kerwin because he has this licorice tea that he likes to drink every single day on the way to work. And oh gosh, you can smell him. Oh, the licorice. I do not like licorice, but he loves it. And I thought if we can grow our own tea instead of supporting Amazon, I'm all for it. But it's gonna take some work to convince him to switch over. This here plant is looking a little shabby, as they often do when it's time to save seeds. This is the marshmallow plant. And you see it has seeds that are falling off already. See if I can find any that are in good shape. It has them as like a wheel of cheese, kind of. No, that didn't work. Here you go. This one's a little bit better. Whoa. I don't destroy them. See that wheel? And those are all seeds within the wheel. Actually, almost too late to save seeds. These are each individual seeds here. Almost too late, but there's still a few left. I've already saved seeds once from this, so I can grab another one. And then this root is an amazing crop. This is a second year plant, so I will be able to dig up some of these roots. You see, they're already popping up out of the ground, so I'm imagining it's going to be really awesome. This is another fun crop, a perennial Jerusalem artichoke. So you don't need to save the seeds because it's perennial, but it's in the sunflower family. It has beautiful small sunflowers late in the season. And then you actually eat the tubers, the roots that are in the ground. And if you don't eat them, don't harvest them, it's going to come back into its own seed saving next year. Or you can dig it up and retransplant them, which is how these guys got here. I had one bed in the back that was incredible. And so I ate tons and then I planted them everywhere on the property. So this is another new planting of them and it's looking really good too. So I definitely want to keep some in here to keep growing. I like where these are planted and they did really well. So check this out. I didn't pull these, what do you call them? I didn't pull these plants out yet, but I thought they were done for the year. I thought I got everything, but here's another good looking one. Tomatillos, there you go. And these are kind of tiny. So, but I mean, they're as ripe as they're gonna get. You see the paper is split, so we'll see. I did already preserve some of these. Just sliced them up and planted them basically. They're just gonna sit dormant all winter. But these little ones I can always give to the chickens. Yeah, see this one's not ripe. But this one, probably tasty. Here is an eggplant that is ready to seed save. So it's long past being ripe to eat when it's purple, right? So you let him go yellow and ugly and soft, and then you can save seeds from him. That one, I'm not gonna save though, because this plant is just a sorry looking plant. Whether it just didn't like the area it was in, the water it got, the sun, whatever, it didn't do well, and so I'm not gonna save it and breed more of that in case it was, you know, just not good seeds, you know, so. But if you want to save them, that's what they need to look like. And don't forget acorns. You're better shadow than not, my man. We've got several oak trees in the yard and they are starting to drop. Look for ones that are whole and uncracked and don't have any bug holes in them. And my boy Larkin here, he loves acorns too. See, he's already got one cracked open down there. And he's lived. Without them being cleaned or rinsed off, get the tannins and whatnot off of them, yeah, he's still fine. So he doesn't eat loads of them, but I'm not worried. I was also reading that you can feed these to chickens as well. You just have to like put them in a towel and smash them up with a hammer or something. Crush them so then they can eat them. So I'm interested to try that this year. I'm gonna save them for winter when we don't have any greens. Well, we don't have a lot of greens. I mean, there will still be some because I'm gonna grow broccoli and kale and Swiss chard down there all do well in the wintertime, so we will have some greens. This is the perilla plant, or red shiso. Edible leaves, really good in stir fries. Similar to basil, but not as strong. This has definitely gone to seed. And this, you do not need to seed save if you want them to just pop up all over your yard anywhere that they please. You can then transplant or move them wherever you want. But my intent was to basically cut these. If you even like break this off, you're scattering seeds everywhere. So I was just gonna very carefully cut them, put them in a paper bag, and then just shake it all up and use those seeds I was going to save for bird food later this winter. Just kind of mix it in with their stuff. So, but again, it does its own self-seeding very well, and it's a beautiful plant with purple leaves. This here is the most amazing Chinese garlic chives, perennial crop and beautiful. I mean, this is the tail end of the white flowers, but it grows so well. This is what you're gonna harvest, are the leaves down here, and you just chop them up like chives. Garlic taste is amazing. So I want these grown everywhere. They take a while to seed start, but here's some that are ready to be grabbed. So I want to periodically, I have to be coming out here to keep checking, like these are too young. It's not even opened yet. Obviously these have the flowers still on them, so you're looking for them open where you can see the black seed. There we go. The black seed is exposed. You can see, there you go, there's a seed. But I don't want to leave them out here to keep growing and getting the seeds ready. But you got to come before the birds get them, and then of course don't come after it's been raining because everything is wet then. So in the sunshine is a great time when they're dry. I'm gonna grab a few of these. So that's a good few to start with. And then there are some plants that you deliberately let go to seed and do not harvest, simply for the reason pictured here. This brings me joy to see. Lamb's quarter is a guinea fowl and chicken favorite. Leaves are edible all summer long, and then now the seeds get to be enjoyed as well. And that is it for seed saving for right this minute. As more things ripen to come available, I'll be back and share with you what's going on.